Are you ready?
A Shot of Wrestling. Episode 185. And wait. Yo.
Bring some damn shot, boy. Is that the best that you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot. Oh, so take a shot. Oh, yeah. I'm a street breaker. I'm a heartbreaker. This is my dawn. I'm Ramon Razor. Rick Flair, Nature Boy, about to seek and destroy. It's an SOW. Let me hear you make noise. Take a shot, boy. Is that the best that you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 185 of A Shot of Wrestling. I'm your host at Michael J. Puddy, joined as always by Marc, Chouen. Marc, you ready for tonight?
Oh, I am so ready for tonight. So long as you get my name right, Puddy. I said it once, I'll say it again. It's Hollywood Marc Chouen.
Okay.
Let's try it again.
It's not a set. You're not directing a set here. It's my show.
This is how you treat all your guests. This.
Just the ones I don't like.
You're very disrespectful. You know that?
You treat others how you want to be treated yourself, so if dish it out, you can't take it.
I don't even know what that means.
How's your week?
Swell, actually. Very busy.
Swell. You don't hear many people use the word swell these days.
Yeah, well, I'm a one of a kind. The Chouen and only.
Great.
How was your week, Puddy?
My week's pretty good. A lot of good things happened this week.
Yeah? Like what?
I can't think of anything.
That good, huh?
It wasn't pretty good. I was like, all right, let me talk about my week this week because it's pretty good. Now I just can't think of anything.
Wah, wah. Fail.
But it was pretty good. Oh, I bought some stuff from Amazon.com.
Okay. What'd you get?
I need a new phone holder in my car.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was kind of shitty. I need a new charger for my phone. And I got an email saying I got 90-day free Amazon Prime Music Unlimited.
Oh, wow. Cool.
As Amazon Prime member, you get access to Amazon Music. But you got to pay more money to get the unlimited music, which is a racket, if you ask me.
Always a way to try to get more money.
But on Amazon Unlimited, they have every single song, every album of Garth Brooks.
Are you really a Garth Brooks fan?
The GOAT, number one of all time.
Ugh.
So I've been doing that for the last 2 days, listening to nonstop Garth Brooks music. Yeah, that's why I'm feeling so great. Also ran into the beautiful, lovely Queen herself, Nia Kennedy, this week.
Yeah? Love Nia Kennedy.
I ran into
my
her.
girl.
I was getting lunch during work. I was coming out of the pizza place, and there she was. With her very beautiful friend, who she didn't introduce me to, but whatever. Nia gives great hugs.
She's the best.
I needed a hug that day, and she gave me a great hug. So shout out to Nia Kennedy. She was going to the city with her friends to hang out. And have you spoken to her recently?
She was just messaging me today, actually.
Oh, so you guys made up?
We made up.
Because she said she was mad at you. She wasn't talking to you.
What? Why would she say that?
There's some beef going on between you two.
No. There's no beef.
Okay, that's what she said.
What?
She told me.
About what?
Last week, episode 184, we did our personal favorite factions, and the Satsution Squad wasn't on your list. She felt very slighted and very disrespected.
The Satsution Squad is always on my list for the record.
Instead you picked NWO?
And
okay, but that's between you two. Maybe you kissed up, made up. I don't know. I don't dare your dirty laundry. But how have you guys made up?
Oh, this is news to me. Well, to clear the air, I want to speak a little bit more about that. Yes, the Satsution Squad is my number one.
Is that a commercial for the Satsution Squad? Jesus.
You're gonna bring that up and you're just gonna cut me right off? Is that how we work here?
Yes.
What is this, Ms. TV?
Damn right.
You wish.
I do wish.
Actually, speaking of the Satsution Squad, you're talking about how you got some new stuff. I got myself a nice new outfit for BWF for Fort Apache.
Okay.
Oh, I am excited for this, my man.
Big anniversary. It's WrestleMania. You got to dress nice.
It's how long? The ninth anniversary?
9 years in the making, yep.
9 years in the making. And we have a huge match.
What did they do for the first 8.5 years without us?
You know what? That's a good question. See, we promised change through violence. And what happened through that change, Puddy? Me and you are doing commentary for BWF.
But there's no violence involved.
But we've taken the championships from pretty much every person except for the Cruiserweight Championship. We're leaving that to Chris Cage.
Yeah, going for it, huh?
I'm not a competitor.
Maybe the other member.
Maybe
your other member, Dom or the Shotgun Shane, can get it.
shocking. I'm going to ignore that. But
okay,
Dominic De Niro, he's got his eye on it.
Weight?
I'll tell you that. He is cutting weight. He's looking good, right?
I think Shotgun can do it. He's the general manager. Just give it to himself, right?
What's your fascination with Shotgun Shane? I don't
Shotgun
get it.
Shane Adams, the quote-unquote general manager of BWF, was supposed to have a 2-on-1 handicap match against BX Strong.
Yeah.
And now it's a 3-on-2 handicap match. You got some 2 other goons.
No, what was promised, you see, is a handicap match, and that's what we're getting.
We're getting a 2-on-1 handicap match.
You thought you were getting a 2-on-1 match because
No,
you hear the word handicap match, and that's what you think. But no, Shotgun Shane, and all his wisdom,
Shane Fair said 2-on-1. The real Shane.
The real Shane. Well, maybe Shane Fair, and with all due respect, maybe he misspoke.
You watch your mouth when you talk about Shane Fair.
I love Shane.
Obviously you don't. You just disrespected him.
I didn't disrespect him. I'm saying maybe he misspoke. Maybe he assumed the same thing that you assumed, that it was just going to be 2-on-1. But no, it was a handicap match. 3-on-2 was still a handicap match. It's just not the way that BX Strong thought it was going to be. No big deal.
Tattoo Squad wins again.
This has nothing to do with
Anyway, let's move on. Ready for Halloween? Any Halloween plans?
I actually do not have any Halloween plans yet. What about you?
I got something come up last minute. I got to find a costume. I can't walk into a store and get a costume, so I got to think of something. I got a week. Let's see what happens. Mark, that's all I got. You ready to get something news? A lot of stuff happened this week. I don't know if you heard what happened.
Well, yeah, we got to get right into this, man. Let's do it up.
It's time for In the News with Michael J. Puddy and Marc Schwab.
All right, Mark. I think it's safe to say the biggest news story this week was, after 4 months, Bruce Pritchard has replaced Eric Bischoff as executive director of SmackDown.
I don't think many people were surprised by that. I think it was inevitable that was going to happen. I love Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of his work. But unfortunately, it seems like it was just one of those cases, like, in football, when you see, coaches coming back to coach a team after such a long period of time, that the game kind of passed them by.
Yeah.
It seemed like that was the case with Eric Bischoff from the grapevine that I've been hearing. He admitted that he wasn't really in touch with, the product now.
No.
It was taking him time to learn it. And, yeah, unfortunately, it seemed like... Eric Bischoff was just not the right fit at this time for his role on SmackDown.
WWE confirmed the news in a press release saying Bischoff is no longer with the company and has been replaced by Pritchard. Eric Jaden.
Got Jaden on your mind, huh?
Eric Bischoff issued the following statement saying, and I quote, "Bruce is a great producer, great friend, and I'm certain he's going to thrive in this position. He's going to be working with a great team and the most dedicated, hard-working people I've had the pleasure of working with. And getting to know."
It seems like he knew. Bischoff knew.
Seems like he's living on good terms.
Yeah.
But kind of surprising. A lot of people are surprised by this.
And I'm sure since he wasn't an on-air talent, there's he doesn't have a no-compete clause or anything like that.
Because he was an employee, right?
Right. So one has to wonder, does he go back to TNT? Does he go to AEW?
Maybe I don't think so.
Maybe as an on-air personality?
I don't think so. I think he tried that with TNA or Impact, whatever it was called at the time, and that didn't work out too well. And if you keep reporting for the last 4 months, he's going to be starting soon. He's working a couple days. Just don't think his heart wasn't really in it.
Right.
So I don't think he's really in. He didn't keep up with the product at all, so I don't think he really cares about the wrestling industry anymore.
Maybe not. But he had a podcast, right?
He still has a podcast. He talks about a lot of personal stuff.
What was it about then? If it's not about,
it's 84 weeks. I think it's called. He talks about Monday Night Wars.
Oh, so he just talks about his time.
Yeah, I don't know if he still does
then,
or if he talks about more personal stuff now. I don't know. I don't listen to it, so I don't know.
Right.
Maybe you guys let us know. Dial it up 619-343-3005 or inbox at charleston.com. That was really fast. Awesome. But yeah, I think he's done with wrestling. He's focused on TV and movies now. He's doing his production company. I think he doesn't need this.
It doesn't sound like it. And, Bruce Pritchard, he's got a great mind for the industry, and he knows how to deal with Vince. And he's obviously kept in touch with the product. He knows what works, and he knows what doesn't work. So, Bruce Pritchard, it seems like he was doing the job already from what it sounds like. So it's a logical choice.
Brian Alvarez reports is that Bischoff really didn't do anything in his role. He didn't do anything to stand out. He didn't go out of his way to learn about anybody or anything. He would leave early. No one can get a hold of him.
Apparently, he was always at the catering.
Yeah. People who worked for him wanted him to quit. An anonymous WWE official told 4FW Online, so anonymous, not really too reliable. He said, and I quote, Eric had absolutely no vision once we were headed to Fox.
That's crazy. I mean, like...
Doesn't sound like him. But he just, like I said, he doesn't seem to care.
Maybe his heart just really isn't into it. Or, maybe it was just more so about, maybe he had a vision for something and Fox had a different vision for something he gave up. Who knows? That could be the case, too.
And they said it's such a stark contrast because Paul Heyman's such hands-on. But Eric Bischoff wasn't too hands-on.
Well, Paul Heyman, he's never left, though.
No. That's true.
Eric... I almost said Eric Jaden as well.
Right.
Eric Bischoff. One has to wonder, as much as I love Eric Bischoff, his success on Nitro, was it a fluke? Because,
the lightning struck at the right time?
Could it have been? I don't necessarily know.
Maybe because when he went to TNA, they said that didn't really work out as well as they thought it would.
Right.
So maybe you're right.
Right. But meanwhile, Paul Heyman, he really created the Attitude Era. WWE stole that from him. He had a great...
you one of those? I think he stole it from him. What a mark.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, Paul Heyman, he never had the money that WWE has. He did the best.
They gave him some.
He did the best he could with what he had. He did a very damn good job with it. And it was WWE eventually do. They wind up hiring Paul Heyman because they see what a great mind that he had, and he kept it going. Yeah. And same thing what he did with UFC. He actually did a promo work for a lot of fighters in UFC as well.
That's true.
And he has his own business, Heyman Hustle.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman has been around in history, I think, longer than Eric Bischoff has as well. He started off as a photographer.
That's right. Way back when.
Way back when.
Senior.
He was just a kid, pretty much.
Basically,
right? Yeah. So Paul Heyman
was a genius in the fact that he had a one-man commentary booth.
Yeah.
What a great concept.
What?
What? We'll move on?
I just picked up what you're trying to say here.
The big draft happened this week. Not talking about the XFL draft. The WWE draft wrapped up on Raw. Any big surprises? Any thoughts? Any comments?
I'm actually surprised Charlotte went to Raw.
Me too. I thought she was going to SmackDown.
Yeah.
There's some reasoning behind who went where. Carmella and R-Truth were broken up. Makes sense because USA invented the 24/7 title.
Right.
I guess we won't be seeing that on SmackDown anymore. And Carmella, of course, is dating Corey Graves.
Right.
Happy to see they're keeping the couples together.
It makes sense.
Yeah. For a while they weren't doing that. No.
I'm happy for the wrestlers because obviously creates for a happier environment for them.
Yeah.
But as a fan, it makes it a little bit more predictable.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's double-edged sword. But obviously, you want them to be happy because they're going to give you overall the better product.
Paul Heyman got most of his picks except for Brock Lesnar, who Fox apparently wanted, because they will not be getting Ronda Rousey just yet. There's some speculation that Lesnar is a placeholder, and when Ronda comes back, Brock Lesnar will go to Raw.
But what does that mean for Paul Heyman, though, since he is on Raw?
I don't think anything. He's still going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. He's the advocate. He has to be. Brock can't talk.
I mean, he can.
Not really. Not well.
We can all speak, Puddy. Well, most of us can.
The big surprise was Humberto Carrillo.
Apparently, they view him as a big deal.
Yeah, he got drafted early, too.
Right.
Like with third round?
Right. I don't really know too much about him, honestly.
I know nothing about this guy. But I guess we'll find out.
I'm trying to think what other surprises there were.
Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black are Paul Heyman guys. They went to Raw. Baron Corbin went to SmackDown because he was an Eric Bischoff guy. Eric Bischoff was very high on him. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Now, what we just talked about, Eric Bischoff wasn't really too involved. So I don't know how that went. But
that's actually news to me. I don't remember hearing anything about that.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, but King Corbin is kind of catching on in his role as a King of the Ring winner.
I think he catches on all his roles.
I wasn't a fan of his GM role at all.
Everyone hated it. He was so boring and bland, but I think he made the most of it. I think he owned it. I think he did a good job with that.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know about that.
He was so boring, it was good. Everyone hated him.
Do you think John Laurinaitis was good at his role as the Raw GM back in the day?
He wasn't. You got over.
He was boring. It was a boring role.
Yeah, but he got over it, made the most of it. And fans reacted to it either hot or negatively.
I don't know, but I gotta say, what Baron Corbin doing right now, as a King of the Ring and everything, even going into that tournament, he's doing a much better job. I feel like he's hitting his stride right now.
Luke Harper didn't get drafted because apparently Dave Meltzer notes that creative only had plans for him up until Hell in a Cell, so he was signed to SmackDown as a free agent. Raw is loaded with talent that is not really over and is now Heyman's goal to ensure he can make bigger names of talents, such as the guys we just mentioned, Murphy Black and Carrillo. So I guess Paul Heyman wants to stack his show with younger talents, huh?
Yeah, not a bad idea. Why not?
He has 3 hours to kill.
Try to give Raw a fresher look. 2 hours to work with on SmackDown for that roster. And I'm still blown away by the production value with Fox, what they're doing it for it.
Very blue.
But yeah, it just feels like Fox. It feels like a bigger deal.
I noticed some new camera angles tonight.
Yeah.
So
I'm digging it.
I saw for the first time that Fox Sports thing that they do where they show you what they're hosting.
Right.
NASCAR, World Series.
Yeah.
College football, WWE SmackDown. Like, wow. They really went all in on this.
Yeah. But then next week they're going to FS1.
One guy who wasn't drafted, or I think really signed with any free agents, Mike Kanellis. Requested his release.
Apparently, yeah, exactly. There's a reason for that.
It was a lengthy, emotional, heartfelt post. He said, in part, today I asked for my release from the WWE. I want to thank everybody in the company who has helped me out and who I've shared a locker room with. I love you all. I've been with this company for almost 3 years and am incredibly grateful for the opportunity. However, it's time to move on. Working 1 day a week is just not cutting it for me. Makes sense.
Did he get like a good contract too?
He just signed like a 5-year deal back in June. Him and his wife were signed contracts, and I heard it was pretty lucrative.
Right. I don't know, man. Like, I hear what he's saying as an artist.
Apparently saying he's so disgruntled and coming home to his wife and kids now. He's just taking it out on them, and they don't want to be around that negativity. He wants...
And you know what? I respect him for saying that, for coming open and clean about that. And, yeah, that's not healthy, and if that's the case, and, you know, maybe it is time to move on.
They're not going to grant it.
Not going to grant his release?
I don't think so. He's a huge talent. He's going to be eaten up right away with AEW or Ring of Honor. He's going to go somewhere else.
He's a huge talent in the ring.
Big name.
He is a big name or bigger name, but like WWE, he's the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, so like they won't release him because they know he'll shine elsewhere.
He definitely will.
He'll lose. They'll lose money.
Rush it in AEW. But think about it.
What about BWF? What about BCW?
He would kill anywhere he goes.
Then we'll go back to Ring of Honor.
But AEW is obviously, I mean, they're more so direct competition as of right now.
But his wife Maria wants to end her career in WWE. But they're kind of a package deal, so I don't know.
So, yeah, exactly. And Maria has the bigger name.
We'll keep you updated. I don't see this happening. I guess we'll see it on the sidelines for the next 5 years, unfortunately. Maybe get paid to stay home. That's not too bad. Get paid, stay home dead, make good money, do nothing. It's on me for that, actually.
And they have another kid on the way, so.
Yeah. Good for you, Mike. In other news?
Like I said, though, as an artist, I completely get where he's coming from, though. I do.
I get it, too. He wants to be stuck in catering. He signed to wrestle.
Yeah, and
yet you do nothing.
You want to do what you love to do, not necessarily just get paid and doing the sideline.
And the most we've seen of you in the last 2 years is you're getting bitched out by your wife. I mean, the shitty storyline? I don't blame him for leaving.
But on the other side of it, too, I mean, you got to think of this. I mean, like, yeah, you're getting paid to be in an industry that you love, and you're supporting your family.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other half as well. So it's just, but, you know, again, you know, AEW has more of the financial backing compared with all the other great promotions that you listed before. And, you know, he could have the opportunity to possibly do both, to, you know, pursue his craft and get paid substantially to do so if he went to AEW. But we'll see. Time will tell.
We'll keep you updated.
5 years is a long time.
Yeah, it just signed. It'll be 5 years. That's crazy. Episode 2 of Power aired. Are you watching NWA?
I haven't had a chance to, honestly. I've heard good things.
I figured you would have a chance to watch this, and it's mobile. You don't have to be a TV to watch it. It's on your phone.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily have access to
your phone?
My phone on when I'm on the set.
This guy. They announced.
Well, I have my assistant watch it for me and give me notes.
Don't you usually do?
No comment.
Episode 2, they announced NWA will be returning to pay-per-view for the first time since April. which I heard this news. I'm like, oh, wow. Returning to pay-per-view? Is it April? That's not a long time. I thought it was like years. They had a pay-per-view in April. Okay. They also announced tickets sold out, though, in just 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
The event will be titled Into the Fire, take place December 14th from the GPW studios in Atlanta, Georgia. The event will begin at 6:05 Eastern and scheduled to end at 9:30 Eastern. Not too long.
No.
So, good job, NWA, making moves. Making that money moves.
Like I said, man, I keep on saying it, but it's an awesome time for wrestling in general, man. Look at all these promotions making big moves.
Like New Japan Pro Wrestling, their parent company, Bushiroad, purchased Stardom, which is a huge deal.
That's a big deal, yeah.
A deal that's been in the works since the beginning of 2019, almost 10 months in the making.
It was just, too, WWE was trying to buy a Japanese promotion as well.
They are looking to buy Stardom.
There was Stardom they were looking to buy?
Yep, to help build up the roster for NXT Japan. They also tried purchasing Pro Wrestling Noah. That deal didn't work out.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
They are in talks with other promotions, but there's no word on how serious those are, or if they're even continuing at this point. They want to launch NXT Japan. Shouldn't they really focus on NXT UK? That's not really. Is it really taking off that well?
I don't
watch it,
know
I'm not
if it's
serious questions.
taking off here. I don't know if that's the goal even, but UK seems to be a very big deal over there.
Are they loving it? Are they eating it up?
It seems like they are.
They'll find out.
Based on what I see on Twitter.
But I guess NXT Japan does make sense. That's the next market to go into.
No, absolutely. I mean, they should do multiple NXTs. They should do NXT South America. They should
That's the plan, yeah. I think India's the next one.
That'd be a great move as well. They just...
Or this right, Saudi Arabia probably. Wouldn't be surprised.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
They're just building this up. They're building an empire.
Finally, another news. Gorilla Position. That one spot right behind the curtain. While the producers, wrestlers, officials run the show from. Named, of course, after the late, great Gorilla Monsoon. Well, just to be different, AEW is changing it up and will now be known as the Dusty Position in honor of the late, great Dusty Rhodes.
Interesting.
Cody tweeted a plaque of a Dusty's cowbell hanging over it, which will be hanging in the Dusty Position at every AEW-produced show.
Huh.
Everywhere it's called the Gorilla Position, but they're changing it up. I never heard of anybody wanting to change it up before.
No, I've never heard of that either. I mean, I feel like everyone respects Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Gorilla Monsoon.
So surprising they're changing it, but I guess...
But, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, that's his dad.
Yeah.
How can you say anything to him? Be like, hey, man, really?
So that's an interesting move, so...
It is an interesting move. I respect it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like he's saying anything bad about Gorilla. I mean, he's doing it because that's his dad.
Yeah, all right, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, nothing positive or negative about that, just an interesting news story. I mean, if you're going to honor anybody, Dusty Rhodes is somebody to be honored, so...
Of course.
All right, Mark Greenman's back with another interview. Very excited about this week. Trying to get him to get this woman on our show since January at BCW's Queen of the North, where she was my guest co-host on A Shot of Wrestling. We shared several drinks, got very drunk together. My good old drinking buddy, the new #1 contender for the BCW Women's Champion after beating Tasha Steelz at Fight 4-3. And we'll also see her take part in the upcoming women's tournament to crown the first ever BWF Women's Champion. Vanity sits down with the Green Man. Really excited about this. Green Man, take it away.
Family, welcome to another exciting edition of A Shot of Wrestling, the interviews. If you have not done so already, follow us on all forms of social media at A Shot of Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, and Shot of Wrestling, no A, on Twitter. You can also contact us via email at inbox@ashotofwrestling.com or dial it up 619-343-3005 and leave your comments on A Shot of Wrestling hotline. Now, we say it time and time again that wrestling brings us together, and today is no different. Today, we are joined with someone who's very near and dear to Michael J. Puddy's heart because they shared some great beverages at Queen of the North for BCW. The OG doll, the new BCW #1 contender for the Women's Championship, Vanity. Welcome to A Shot of Wrestling.
Hey, what's good, guys?
Oh, man. Like I said, Michael J. Puddy has been like, you got to get Vanity. You got to get Vanity. You got to get Vanity. Ever since you guys share that moment, that drink, I don't know what happened, but welcome back to A Shot of Wrestling.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So fill us in. If nobody knows anything about Vanity, what would you want them to know about you?
That I'm a very open person. I'm an open book. I really don't care what people think. I just live life how I want it. I do what I want. I say what I want, and I always mean what I say.
Now, that's a pretty cool personality and a way of living. You know, was that always you growing up, or did you come into that kind of personality as an adult?
I definitely came into this personality as an adult because when I was little, I was very outgoing but very shy at the same time. I always loved sports, but, always kept my mouth shut. Basically let people walk all over me and always tried to make friends with people. But then I realized, I wasn't clicking with some people because I was the weird one. I was just very, very weird. I was a tomboy, just very, very shy. So when I found my love for wrestling, that's when I honestly started getting a voice. I couldn't fit into some crowds being fake. And I was letting people, walk all over me. So when I started getting comfortable with myself, that's when I actually started to have a voice. If that makes sense.
No, yeah, absolutely. And it takes a while kind of to develop that voice and that voice that you're comfortable with being. But now as a female wrestler and in the business, you become a little bit more as a role model. What kind of image do you feel that you portray to young girls and guys growing up?
That's a good question. I'm really not even sure because when I started wrestling, I didn't have an image, and that's something I had to really work on. Instead of just being strong, I was a tomboy when I was little. I knew I was strong and agile and, a little speedy, but I had to come up with a look. And there are things that I resonated towards, and there's things that I didn't. Some females wear extensions and wigs, and I had to play a part with the beauty and the fashion. Mm-hmm. I love fashion a lot, and honestly, I looked at the guys more than I looked at the girls. Like Flair, I looked at Rick Rude and, how they were in the ring and how they used their robes and their fashion. And then after I studied them, I started studying the girls. They wore leotards and how they did their hair. Did they wear extensions? Did they wear lashes, makeup? And then after I got my hair cut, I shaved my head. Wow. I couldn't do extensions.
How old were you when that happened? Because I've only known you with the style you have now.
I was 19 when I shaved my head, and then my hair started growing back. Mm-hmm. And this was before wrestling.
Okay.
My hair started growing back to the full length, but my hair was always breaking. It was always thin, fragile. And when I started wrestling, I was just like, man, I am not beautiful like most of the other girls out there. They have long hair, they have extensions, they have real healthy long hair. And I just don't know how to work with my look. Mm-hmm. I think my look was the hardest thing I've ever had to play with every day. And I mean every day. So basically, I put chemicals in my hair one day, and it all fell out one more time.
Wow.
So I started, I was there was no hair. It was like a baby's. Can I cuss on this?
Yeah.
Okay, it was like a baby's ass. I put all these chemicals in together, and my mom's like, "Yo, what did you do to your hair?" And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm so fed up with it. So the next day, I was trying out for Pro Wrestling Syndicate, their school, and I would train with a hoodie on. And one of the boys pulled the hoodie off my head, and I didn't cry or anything, but I was just like, oh my God, I am not sexy, and these guys are going to see that. And they were like, yo, you look like Eve from Rough Riders, like a little Rihanna. Rihanna had short hair back then. And I was like, maybe I can play with this. It's just that I can't do wigs and I can't do extensions. At that time, girls were getting their wigs taken off in the ring. It was kind of funny. Mm-hmm. So I just started messing with my look, and then I got the mohawk, and then I cut the mohawk shorter, and I just styled it myself, and I've just been doing that since. So I couldn't be fake with myself or my image because I was just comfortable with the mohawk, comfortable being me.
So now that you've grown into yourself, if there's any advice that you would give to, let's say, a 15-year-old Vanity, what advice now would you give that girl then?
Your time's coming. To any girl out there, actually, your time is coming. Any dude too. Your time is coming where you're gonna be the ugly duckling, and then you are gonna beast into something that's more immaculate than life. You're going to grow into your skin. Like, don't force it. When it comes to your looks, everyone's always body shaming, and that's the shit I hate so much. So you're going to find someone that's going to be like, yo, you're hot as hell, and I want you. So
damn right. You're right.
It's your duty to put what you like together, what you feel comfortable with. Don't let anybody tell you different.
You're absolutely. Are you the type of person who believes that there is someone out there for someone, like, who's finding love? Like, there's that person for you?
Yeah, I do. And trust me, it's going to be so beautiful. Like, once you're comfortable with yourself, and sometimes it kind of gets scary because, you get so comfortable with yourself and the confidence comes in, and then everybody wants you. You probably need a bodyguard or something. But, when you get so comfortable with yourself, you're going to find someone that, literally sees the light in you and, accepts you for who you are. You're not just an image to them.
You're absolutely,
and you'll get to know the difference.
You're absolutely right. I think I definitely resonate in a little bit of your story right now, because I may have seen as someone who was very comfortable on the outside, but on the inside, I wasn't too sure with myself, and it took me a while before I was like, you know what, this is me, whatever. People could say whatever they wanted to say, and that confidence attracts people to you. But the best part about it, like you're saying, is when it's attracting people to you, it's attracting people that you want to be attracted to you, because they're going to be accepting of who you are. Like, you don't have to be fake. You don't have to be someone different. You are who you are. And that's an awesome message,
exactly.
man. That is an awesome message. You mentioned fashion for a little bit. And yes, Rick Rude, Ric Flair, as far as the guys, like, these two dudes knew how to work wrestling fashion. What do you think about the wrestling fashion today, though? Could it be better? Who's doing it great? And who probably needs to be taken to school for a little bit by Vanity on fashion?
You know what? I think the wrestling fashion now, I think it's playing, you know how they say history repeats itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think basically history is repeating itself. I see a lot of robes coming back, a lot of the leather jackets, studded jackets. Everyone has their own niche. The goth look, the punk rock look, the red hair, even with Becky Lynch. Lita was the only redhead I knew back then. So it just depends how you play it, how you rock it. When I started wrestling, I didn't have a look, and I remember coming out with this Louis Vuitton onesie with a G-string up my ass. I wanted to bring the leotard look back, and nobody was doing that at the time, and I was wearing fishnet, and basically fashion plays a big role in everything. If you don't got fashion, if you don't got swag, then how are you going to stand out?
Yeah.
You're just going to be a Joe Schmo in the mix. You got to separate yourself from everybody else.
No, and it's not just the girls. I think the guys are just in tune, and the guys in the business are also fashion does play a big role. I don't want people to listen to this and be like, oh no, it's just a girl, that's why she's singing. But I talk to many dudes in the business who are worried about what their in-ring attire is going to be, getting new tights to get excited for, and I'm going to try something new.
Definitely.
Has anybody gone to you for fashion advice? Because you mentioned you're really big into fashion in your personal life. So have people sought you out for that advice?
A couple girls, but I try not to put my light onto people because, honestly, my fashion sense is very risque, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So I just tell people, do the best that you can. Whatever you like, resonate towards it, because you got to play with yourself, if you know what I mean. I can't say anything for you. It's not that I can't help you, but I only can tell you what to do.
Yeah, very true, very true. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but because of the peak right now of where wrestling is, I think wrestling fashion, it's also something that is getting mixed in with street fashion. It's I'm walking around, I'm just seeing a lot more wrestling shirts out there, but not even just new wrestling shirts, vintage. People like that old vintage rock style kind of wrestling fashion. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, I've noticed a lot of that. Even T-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees, I'm oh my God, look at that shirt. I go into Hot Topic and you have the rock vintage T-shirts, the looks, the styles, even the logos with the old skulls, the flames, whatever it is. I used to be a punk rocker back then. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
like, yes, definitely. I listened to a lot of bands back then. So I'm just like, oh my God, like literally history is repeating itself, and this is so amazing.
What was the band you would listen to back in the day?
I listened to Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, The Used, a lot of Slipknot, Korn, Paramore.
Nice.
Atreyu was one of my favorite bands. Wait, I've heard of Five Finger Death Punch.
Mm-hmm.
They were pretty good. Bullet for My Valentine, My Chemical Romance. Hey, the list goes on and on. Korn, Linkin Park. Oh my God.
Yo, you're just like hitting up like my mixtapes from back in the day.
Oh yes, I made a lot of mixtapes.
I think that's something that the kids nowadays may not understand, but it was so cool.
Oh, yo, I remember those days. My brother used to make cassette tapes for like his friends, and that's how he used to hustle. Like I had to be quiet in the background, and he would hit record, and I'm like, yo, go get your money, but he'd be like, shut up, I gotta record this song.
Yeah, yeah. How has music played a role in your life?
Music always was there for me. Like when I couldn't talk to people, I would just go to music. When I couldn't talk to people, I would go to wrestling. Like all my emotions would pour out without me saying anything. It was like, put on some music or watch a match.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I could ever feel or like connect with myself, if that made sense.
No, yeah, totally agree. I think music is very important. And that also plays a role in the way, a wrestler creates their character. How did you come up with, the song you were going to, walk down the aisle in?
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to get really open. So I used to be a dancer, and before dancing, I was very, very, very shy. Like, I had no confidence. Like I said, I was bald. I lost my hair and everything, and basically I started dancing to rock music, like Alice in Chains, Damage Plan, a lot of like metal bands, Nickelback, like whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And then I used to like do the daytime shift, so it was like a lot of rock music. Okay. And I started like resonating towards the nighttime, and it was a lot of trap music, rap music, Migos, So I was never a fan of rap till I started, like, it was like, okay, this is the nightlife, damn, I like this songs. I like a little bit of rap. I like some Biggie. I like some Tupac. Like, I resonate with these artists. Man, these are artists that I never thought I would like. And when I started wrestling, I tried coming out to rock music, but it was so weird. It was like, it's not you.
Right.
But it is you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you put on a Korn song and I'm head banging in the back. Literally, like the boys would go behind the curtain and they would go to the ring and they're playing like All That Remains, Kill Switch Engage, and I'm in the back head banging so hard. But I was just like, that's not me right now, Uh-huh. Like that was my teenage me, and I will always be that girl. But right now, I feel sexy, I feel confident, and when I was a little girl, I didn't have that sexiness or confidence. So I'm going to rock out to what I want to do, and I want to go out to rap music. I like these artists. I like these other artists that I never thought I would like. So I started coming out to Cardi B, Migos, Rihanna, Drake. Like, trap music was my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and like you said, I've seen you walk down that aisle, and the music blends into who you are, and it's the first introduction of who you are. So when you mentioned rock music, like I'm like, I don't think I could see you like coming down to rock music. It just doesn't fit. Mm-hmm. So it's just how you enjoy it. How was wrestling when you were growing up? Like, who were you big on? Who your big influences were, and what are the moments that maybe just stick out into your mind?
Wow, good question. My biggest influences were Lita and the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, when they were the Brood with Gangrel, Ivory, like basically like the Attitude Era around that time.
Yep.
And honestly, in wrestling, the thing that resonated with me the most was the storylines. Like, I was a storyline baby. I loved what was happening in the background, or like who married who, or like what guy was flirting with who guy's wife, and like, they're going to get revenge next week on Raw. Like, I was so into the storylines more than the matches, because they always made me feel as if I was in their world. Like, you know how people sometimes take online world, like, to another level?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like that. It was just like, oh, my God. If I went into school and some guy was just like, oh, did you watch Raw last night? It was like, no way, you watched that? Yeah. Like, we can talk about it in code or something. It was just the best thing to talk about because I didn't like anything else.
Do you remember, because it sounds like wrestling has always been a part of your life. Do you remember your time before wrestling?
Yes. I mean, the only thing I did when I was young, like my mom she was a single mother. My dad passed away at an early age. Then my mom had me sheltered when I was little. And the only thing that we could have watched that brought the family together was wrestling. Like, I never talked. I was always into exercise, and that's it. Like, I love to exercise, go outside, work out. I think my first word was echo size. Like, I was a weird child. I had no fashion, but the only thing I had was wrestling. Like, that's what brought me and my brother closer, and that was it.
And what does your family think about you now being a professional wrestler? Especially your brother, who you guys shared moments around wrestling.
Wow, I'm their hero. Like, it's kind of weird to say this because I always felt like the black sheep of the family because I was so weird. You guys have no clue. I was so weird. But my mom's like, you're the hero. Like, you went out and did your dreams, and you're still doing it, you know? Basically, this thing brought my family closer.
Really?
And when
nice.
when my dad passed away, like, the house was just silent until my grandpa, like, came back and, you know, he put on wrestling. Then my mom got remarried, and then my stepdad loved wrestling, and he introduced us to Andre the Giant. Like, I'm stuck on the Hardy Boys, and he was taking me back in the past. Like, no,
you don't know wrestling. Let me show you, kid.
Yeah, he was like, come sit over here. Let me show you something. And I'm like, no way. I'm like, I have to go do this thing. And then my grandpa's like, you really are going to do this one day. Like, I could see it in your eye. And I'm like, yes, I love this thing so much. Like, I finally have a voice. Like, this is weird.
So what was that moment that made you start training to become a wrestler?
So after my mom got married to my stepdad, we moved around a lot. And at the age of 19, I moved to Florida when I was 15, came back to New Jersey when I was 19. Basically, I stopped watching wrestling for a very long time. I came back here, and when my ex-boyfriend at the time was just like, Lita's actually going to be like 10 minutes down the house. Do you want to go see her? And I was like, oh, man, that would be really cool, but I've never met a celebrity before.
Yeah.
So this would be very weird. In the past, I was very close to meeting her once, and my mom was just like, no, we got to go. It was at a flea market. My mom was like, no, we have to go. It's Sunday. It's church day. We got to go. I got to make food. And I literally cussed out my mom, and I've never done that. I was like, the only thing I ever wanted was to fucking meet Lita, and, like, you can't wait 10 minutes. So my ex-boyfriend paid the tickets to go see her, and then I got her autograph, and I found a school online, and they were just like, hey, we're training people. And I was Pro Wrestling Syndicate's first girl or graduate out of the school, like, to start. So after I met Lita, that same place that had her do the signings, I was their first girl, and Vanity was born.
That's huge, man. Not everybody gets to chase their dream. And it's pretty cool that, you know, you have been. But how has that dream been? Has it been filled with struggle? Has it been easy? Has it been an easy road to becoming a professional wrestler?
I think, yeah, it was a struggle. It's always been a struggle, and it kind of still is, but I wouldn't have it any other way. When I first started wrestling, that's when I first started dancing. So, like, I was getting beat up day in and day out, hour by hour. Like, I would wake up, go to the gym. Then after that, I would go to the club and, like, you know, like I said, I didn't have confidence. So all these girls at work were picking on me, and I had to, like, basically learn the business of business, what I was getting into, and getting criticized, you know, trying to get along with your peers, knowing how to handle money, knowing how to handle your fans or men or, you know what I'm saying? Like, even other women, you have to, like, realize who you're dealing with, learning to deal with myself and my confidence. And then after that, at 7 p.m., it's like, all right, practice is going to go on for 3 hours, drive all the way to practice, and basically do it all over again, get in the ring, learn all these drills, learn the men, because I was the only girl for the longest time.
Yeah.
Then I would have to go home and study women's wrestling, study the men too. And like, if you put your mind to it, you could do it. And I basically taught myself wrong. And my mom was not supportive in the beginning, so it was so emotionally draining. But I was there for myself, and I didn't have no support. Like, all my money was going to my car, rent. I paid my mom rent, whatever she wanted to do, gear, and basically any teachings, any seminars that I had to do. But it was all worth it. It was all worth it at the end, because everyone's story is so different, and I got to meet every walks of life, young people, new people, old people. Like, I'm still living the dream. That it's so amazing, and I wouldn't change anything.
I think it's one of the things you mentioned that not many wrestlers, I guess everybody does have to think about it in one way or another, but it's, how you react to the fans. Now, you're a beautiful woman. When you come out, you do have a very sexy tone to you. Like, this woman is meant to be looked at as like, wow, she's sexy, she's beautiful. Like, she's not, when you get in the ring, definitely you're that hardcore beating type of gal, but when you come out, you're selling that sex appeal. How do you handle the audience, whether it be male or female, who may want to take a liberty and grab you or, insult maybe because you're not their cup of tea? How do you deal with that?
I just, if you resonate with me, like, if we click, then we click, and if we don't, then there's a reason why you're on the other side watching me. Like, I don't give a flying, what. Like, I really don't care. There's a reason why your ass is in these seats, and you're gonna watch me do my thing. You love wrestling, I love wrestling. That's why we're here. Because I've had a lot of criticism. I've had, even people try to touch me at times, and I will shank you. Don't try it. Oh. Like, I'm not even kidding. I don't think you should put your hands on nobody, because, like I said, I come from the club. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I think respect plays a big role, especially with, I wouldn't even call myself a celebrity or anything, but I'm just a human being living their dream also. So when it comes to disrespect, I don't play that, but I just try to vibe with the fans. I try to vibe with everybody. So if someone's trying to come at me left field, then we've got problems. We've got a lot of problems. And I've even had young guys come to my merchandise table with their mothers and, look at my 8x10s, and they were pretty sexy. And their mothers are like, no, I'm not buying you this 8x10. Like, look at her. Right to my face.
Wow.
And then after my match, the mom would come back up to me like, yo, I loved your match. I'm so sorry I said that to you, and buy all my merchandise. And I'm like, as long as I can put a smile on your face, then I don't care.
Mm-hmm. What has been your biggest moment in professional wrestling so far?
Oh, man, winning my first title at Pro Wrestling Empire. I was in a 3-way against some lady named Tess Valentine and Lufisto. And I got to pin Lufisto be the first. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Like,
that's
oh
cool.
my, this was so crazy because, like I said, I've studied a lot of male wrestling because I didn't really know that many female indie women. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I started wrestling, I didn't even know what indie wrestling was. I didn't know Ring of Honor, all these like high respectable places yet. So when I found out who Lufisto was, I was like, I'm dying to have a match with this lady one day. Like, when I went to go meet her, I bowed down to her.
Really?
And I was just like, wow, do you know who you are? You're a legend. And a year later, I was in a match with her, and I got to pin her to be the first, like, female champion, and I cried. I cried. I was like, oh, my God. Like, I never thought I would see the light of day because everything was so worth it.
It's a big moment. And like you said, to make it even a bigger moment, the person that you pinned for that title, is a big name. So yeah, definitely awesome. Which leads me, I guess, to the next part of our conversation, BCW. You are the #1 contender now because you beat Tasha Steelz at their last event, Fight for a 3 at St. Helena's Gym. Congratulations. Now, you and Faye, down the line, it could happen. When is it going to happen? We want to see it.
I'm not, you know what? I'm going to leave that up to a surprise because I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but I know it's soon. I believe in November. Their next show is going to be November 1st, and I will definitely be there. I'm not sure what's going to go down, but I definitely have Faye in my mind since that night.
Have you guys ever squared off?
Yes, me and Faye have squared off plenty of times. She's actually one of the second females that have ever came to my training school back then. And I met her, and we have a lot of history. Me and Faye have a lot of history, and I cannot wait to get in the ring with her because every time we get in the ring together, the level goes up. It gets more intense, and I'm just like, man, I thought I knew this girl. I thought I know her moves. I thought she would know my tactics and stuff, and, you know, we switched up on each other quite a few times, but this is for the title. This is for the title, so I cannot wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what she has.
I mean, Faye Jackson, the first BCW women's champion. She won it all in the Queen of the North tournament, which you participated in. So it's nice to see you back into the title hunt after that tournament. That was a magical night. It was filled with a lot of great women, a lot of great, talented wrestlers. It was a privilege to see you gals do what you did. But what does Vanity want? Who is that person on your dream list of like, I want to face this person? Maybe it's more than one. So who are they?
There's a lot of rematches that I want. Jordan Grace, Sonia Strong, definitely Tasha again. I have a lot of history with Tasha. I would love to go against Deonna Purrazzo again. We've had a lot of history. I would love to go against Ashley Vox from the Sea Stars.
Yeah.
Penelope Ford. And a couple men. Like, I want some dudes. Like, I've beaten down the girls so many times that I want men now. Like, I'm requesting men.
Really? How does that work? Because intergender wrestling is huge right now, just as much as women's wrestling is. What makes you make that switch and say, yeah, now I want men?
I feel like I'm as tough as the men. Like, females already know what they go through. They know that they can level up with the guys. We train with the guys. We hear the guys speak. Like, we think about guys. We dream of men. So, like, why not go in the ring with them? Why not go toe-to-toe with them? Or even our trainers. Like, I've thought about having a match with one of my trainers, Danny Moff, for the longest time. And he is a legend in the pro wrestling ring. So I know I can take on many guys because I'm not scared of them. Like, I have that confidence to tell any guy that I can go toe-to-toe with you, and I can cut your cookies. So let's go and do it. I've been in the ring with Darius Carter also. I've studied a lot of men more than the girls. So I'm just not scared of anybody. I'm ready to do it. I'm probably more scared of myself.
What excites you about wrestling today?
Everything. Everything, like,
because you mentioned a lot of things that excite me about wrestling today. I mean, AEW excites me today. Intergender wrestling, women's wrestling excites me today.
Yeah, no, everything from AEW to Master P owning House of Glory right now.
What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that's a shocker. I can't believe, like, wrestling is at its finest, and it's growing day by day, and I'm ready to be part of that shock, if you know what I mean.
There is a lot of things going on in the wrestling business today, and I think a lot of it comes from that competition. Do you feel as a performer, you know, in the independent scene, do you feel that sense of competition also within yourself and your peers?
Oh, yes. Everything's going to be a competition. I'm competing with myself every day. So I always have to have my back against the wall and be like, what's going to go on next? To, hey, even the fashion, like, yo, do I have my gear ready? Does this look ready? Is this prepared? Like, I'm actually going against myself, the world, and the other brands.
As we're wrapping up, you mentioned, you know, you keep in tune with everything going on in the wrestling business, AEW, WWE, SmackDown, Raw, everything going on. If you had to put Vanity in any storyline currently out there, since you mentioned you're a big storyline person, what storyline would you put out there for yourself to get into that company?
Oh, wow. Great question. Basically work with any women's division, like any women out there, like AEW with Nyla Rose going on, and the championship. They just crowned their first women's champion. It's kind of cool how they were having the girls come out in groups. And Mercedes Martinez came out like with the Joker card and like popped out of nowhere. You know, like that's cool. The Mae Young Classic is something I really have on my mind right now. NXT, like I said, Deonna Purrazzo's there, Chelsea Green. It would be very awesome to make a pop-up there. Even on Impact, like, oh my God, Katie Forbes just debuted the other day. Jordan Grace is there. Like, the energy is at the utmost, like I said. It would just be cool to debut anywhere, just be a part of it.
Now, you mentioned a lot of girls we're very familiar with. You know, like, would you consider yourself wanting to start a stable, like a group?
You know what? I'm not a stable girl. You know what? Like, I am not a stable girl. I'm like one of those chicks that, like, you know, like, even if I had a stable, I would have to watch my back against them because, you know, they would know.
But that's a good story to tell. You know, like the one girl who, you know, she rides alone, she does her own thing, you know, is now part of this group. You know, could she conform to the ideologies of three other women, you know?
Maybe.
And then one day you just like stab them in the back.
Yeah, right. I would have to stab her before she stabs me.
Yeah,
like,
that's a great story.
Girl, we're gonna have to take it to the streets.
But let's play pretend for a little bit. If you had to pick three other girls to be in a stable with you, who would those girls be?
I would have to say Tessa Blanchard.
You're off to a great start.
Yeah, like she's great. Tessa, Maria Manic. I would have to say Maria Manic and Ariel Monroe. She's bad as hell. Cedric Alexander's wife. She is so bad. And we kind of do resemble each other, but yeah, I love her tactics a lot.
Wow. That is
me and Maria,
a group to reckon with.
Maria go back.
We started the conversation with saying that wrestling brings us together. Is there anybody in the business that you would consider a friend or a confidant, a mentor that you're grateful that wrestling brought to your life?
Yes. Basically at my weakest, I wouldn't say it was just one person. It's honestly a group of people at this school called House of Glory, which is probably crazy. But when I was at my lowest, and, you know, I had nobody behind my back, I actually went to a place called Excellence Pro Wrestling in Pennsylvania, and they basically revamped me from, like, the OG doll to WrestleBay. Like, they gave me so much confidence. They were my family. Like, I love them. I always have their back. Like, I will always be there for them. And they were there for me when I was at my lowest because I was with a school called Pro Wrestling Syndicate, which is now WrestlePro, and I'm not with them anymore. And I got lost for a while. Like, that happens. I hope everyone knows that. Like, your wrestling school, you know, there's other people out there that are going to have your back. And basically, the House of Glory guys were there for me, and they basically brought up my spirits. And Luke Hawks, he brought up my spirits, too. He was there for me when I was my lowest. He's from Louisiana. So, yeah, them.
Nice. I mean, every day we're grateful for a lot of people that wrestling brings into our lives. And today we are grateful to have Vanity on A Shot of Wrestling. We're going to definitely see you a lot more of you because, like you mentioned, BCW November 1st. We're looking forward to seeing you there.
I can't wait to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure, but there's still more, so stay tuned for Last Call.
Hey guys, this is your girl Vanity. Now I had an amazing interview with A Shot of Wrestling, and there is more to come after this episode for The Last Call. Stay tuned.
It's time for this week's TV Takedown.
All right, thanks, Vanity, for your time. Great hearing your interview. Great learning more about the possibly future two-time women's champion.
Could be. We never know.
Vanity 2 belts.
Vanity 2 belts. That has a good ring to it.
I think so. All right, Mark, you ready to take down some TV?
Let's go for it, man.
You first, man. What did you watch this week? Did you get a chance to watch anything?
So yeah, my takedown I want to talk about a little bit. You know, I think I'm going to get some hate for this.
Ooh, I love it. Already.
Yeah. Heavy Machinery.
Okay.
Seem to be like, fans seem to really dig them. They get pop.
I don't get it.
Thank you. You okay? Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so you're.
I don't get it.
I don't think you get as much hate as you think you do.
I don't get it at all. They remind me of the Bushwhackers, right?
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Now the Bushwhackers, they fit for the time period that they were in.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously, we were kids growing up with the Bushwhackers.
Yeah.
And it was fun for the kids. I'm sure our parents hated the Bushwhackers.
Licking everybody's head? Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah, kind of gross. But in today's era, the Bushwhackers would be booed out of the arena.
Would they though?
Attitude Era, especially. Not necessarily. I'm not saying necessarily like the Bushwhackers, but if the Bushwhackers were to debut, in Attitude, or the Bushwhackers were to debut today, they would be booed out of the arena. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently, they wouldn't be because Heavy Machinery's not. War Raiders aren't.
The War Raiders are a different level, though. The War Raiders, congratulations to them winning tag team championships. They are the real deal tag team. Puddy, I do commentary with you every time we do BWF, right? And what's my biggest pet peeve is when these competitors going in there and they want to have fun. They're about having fun and not enough focusing on winning.
You do hate that.
I hate that. And these guys, all I see, especially Otis, just going out there having fun. They want to have a good time. I see Tucker actually doing more so, like caring more about winning and doing something. But you see Otis just flapping around in the ring, grunting all the time.
Not a fan of the Caterpillar?
Not a fan of the Caterpillar at all. I don't get it. And if someone can please, an adult, mind you, can sit down and tell me what the big deal is, Heavy Machinery. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I am.
Green Man loves them. Yeah, talk to Green Man.
Green Man, hit me up. Because I want to know. Maybe it's me.
At Marc Chouen, Marc with a C, Chouen, on all social medias. Spell it right.
Thank you. And, if Otis and Tucker are listening to this, hit me up too. Maybe I'm missing something from you guys.
Oh, please. Someone's listening. Someone forward this to them. Did you watch SmackDown?
I did watch SmackDown.
Okay.
Clearly.
It's not really my takedown, but it's annoyance. Little things annoy me.
Okay.
I don't get this. Maybe explain this to me. Roman Reigns was gearing up for the drive-by.
Right.
A move where he runs around the corner, gives a drop kick to the side of someone's head, lands on his back on the edge of the apron.
Now, for any of you that are listening to a wrestling podcast, you know what the drive-by is from Roman Reigns, stop listening. Go on.
What does that mean? You have a problem?
No, I'm saying wrestling fans, they should know that. They should know what a drive-by is.
Okay, I'm sorry for doing a commentating job, asshole.
But go on.
Painting a picture.
Okay, paint that picture.
Pete Rosado would say. Sami Zayn pulls Nakamura out of the way.
Uh-huh.
Roman Reigns lands on his back.
Right.
He always lands on his back. Why did it hurt this time?
That's actually good.
See, now you feel like a dick for because I was explaining something. Why was his back hurting when he always lands on his back?
That's a good point.
Thank you. Well, my takedown this week is a follow-up to my takedown last week, Bayley. Miz TV was awesome this week. What a great promo by The Miz, comparing her to Brock Lesnar and Sasha Banks to Paul Heyman when she wasn't answering his questions.
The Miz always does a phenomenal job on that mic.
Oh, man. Bayley held her own. I never really pictured Bayley as like a great on the mic. But I figured
she still seems like she
held her own, though.
She's transitioning in the role as a heel.
She's getting there.
I don't think she's fully comfortable yet. I don't know if she's fully embraced it yet.
I don't think so, but I think she'll get there. She's on her.
You have a great heel next to her as Sasha Banks, and they're good friends in real life. So, maybe that's going to rub off and help her.
I was wondering how they would handle it. There's a lot of pressure when you turn someone heel the next day. Next time you got to follow it up.
And I dig her music.
Yeah, I thought it was very generic, but then I heard it on her way out. I'm like, this is not too bad.
Yeah, when she won the match last week, it was pretty generic. They didn't play the whole thing, but they played the whole thing this time. I was like, oh, okay.
It does. Like I said, I mean, generic. It sound like the preloaded, no-name intro music you can put to your character on a WWE video game, like Creative Wrestling.
Yeah.
It sounds like one of those off songs they have in storage that they just pulled out at a random.
Right.
But I liked it. Actually,
it does work for her. Can I mention something about The Miz?
Of course, all the time.
So my wife and I, we watched it, right? And
she watched with you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
She likes The Miz. And she asked me a good question, actually. She's like, I haven't seen him really wrestle in a while. Is he injured? What's his deal? He's doing a lot more of just talking.
So she observes that The Miz hasn't wrestled in a while.
Right.
But she hasn't observed the gas tank gone empty?
That's a great point.
Anyway.
That's a great point. But, that is a good point.
It's called a callback.
Yeah, it's a good...
That's a good question, though. Yeah, I haven't seen him wrestle in a while.
Right. He's not wrestling so much. I was thinking...
I think he did it Raw, maybe like 2 years.
He is older now. Are they preserving him a little bit more? Is he doing a movie? I don't think he's doing a movie.
No. Maybe he just wanted to be home for his new baby.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that could be it.
She's born a month ago, maybe? So maybe he just wanted to be home more?
Maybe he's not in ring shape?
Maybe.
Because he hasn't even done anything like...
Maybe he's taking paternal leave, family medical leave.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think... He's not an employee, so I don't think he can get that. But, different story for a different time. But yeah, I think maybe because of the baby. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah. Because I don't know anything about him being injured or anything like that.
No, I haven't heard anything about him being injured. He's on TV, but he just goes to be on TV.
He is in good shape, so I don't know.
I don't know if he's doing house shows. If anybody knows if he's doing house shows, I'll not let us know. But my answer will be the baby.
Okay. Let's go with that.
Speaking of TV, whilst we're on the subject of TV, did you watch WWE Backstage?
Yo, Renee Young.
What a great show.
Russia. Here's the thing. People give her hate for her commentary, right? And I never minded her commentary.
I never minded it either.
I
People
think
are stupid.
People
love to bitch about everything.
Oh, totally. And I think it was completely unfair because she even admits that it was a new role for her, and I feel like she was learning very well in the job. Listen, we both know commentary is not easy at all.
No. So
she did a fine job with it, but she really does shine as a host.
Yeah, and she's not a commentator.
No,
she was a host.
Yeah,
so
and she's like the Erin Andrews of WWE.
Yeah,
and it made me forget how good of a job she really does.
Erin Andrews doesn't sit in the booth with Troy Aikman.
No, exactly. Imagine.
Yeah,
imagine. God forbid. Hey,
yeah.
God forbid. Carly Lloyd kicked a 53-yarder. God forbid, right?
Yep.
That's a whole other subject. But
still sensitive.
Yeah, apparently people are sensitive. A woman can do things. But yeah, no, the show itself was fun.
Except Phil Gas Tank.
Apparently, I put a poll out on Facebook. Very surprising. People like to live on the edge.
That's crazy.
But let's go back to the show real fast.
Oh yeah, get back.
Now, we were promised a big trade announcement, too, in that show from Triple H. Didn't really live up to the hype.
Yeah, Booker T said it. Like, I wasn't really expecting a big, huge trade.
So did Jake Glazer.
Did he?
Yeah, remember?
Womp, womp.
Womp, womp.
Oh, yeah, that's right, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't see, I just eye rolled. I thought it was good. I mean, the trade.
What does it mean? Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who weren't even drafted as a tag team, they're drafted separately.
Yeah, that's weird.
Going to SmackDown.
For future draft picks and considerations.
What does that mean?
I guess we'll see the draft again.
So we're going to see a draft again next year?
I don't know. How do you think they feel? They got traded for nobody. I don't know. I thought overall it was a good show. I like the vibe, I like the energy.
Yeah.
I love the segment. The promo school was awesome. They take a unknown.
Booker T still got it, huh?
They take a famous athlete.
Yeah,
unknown. A wrestling fan.
Adam Jones is not an unknown.
Yeah, I corrected myself. That's why we're going to edit this part out. Let's try this again. They take an athlete and give him advice on how to cut a promo.
Yeah.
Like they would do in NXT.
And by the way, I feel like the judges were way too lenient. I feel like Renee Young, as far as giving the score, Renee Young kept it real.
Yeah.
Paige giving him an 8. I was like, come on, Paige, really?
Well, because he took her advice. She was just happy about that.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
But then, like I said, Booker T coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, Booker T just laid it down, man.
But it did really have like one of these, like you said about SmackDown, a Fox Sports feel to it.
Oh, totally.
It felt like I was watching NFL Sunday.
100%.
On with the WWE.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it. I'm excited about it.
And great to see Paige back on TV, too.
Looking smoking hot.
My wife listens to the show occasionally, so I can't say anything. But she looked great.
Why are you winking then? Why keep winking and smiling at me?
Well, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me?
Okay. Are you waving to move on? Okay, let's move on then.
You're such a dick. I'm not doing any of these things, for the record.
But overall, backstage, looking forward to it. Should we talk about Rollins bring down the Firefly Funhouse? People talk. That's a big thing that happened on Raw.
Oh, R.I.P. Ramblin' Rabbit.
But he dies every time. I don't know why this time. He's like Kenny from South Park.
I was about to say he's Kenny from South Park.
But even Bray Wyatt said he's dead this time, so I don't know.
It would be great if he comes
What did he
back.
die from? He just got burned up?
He got burned out. Yeah, well, everyone got burned out, but
Yeah, so
we're all making a big deal about Ramblin' Rabbit.
What happened to Mercy the Buzzard? Huskus.
Huskus is creepy. I mean,
Haven't seen Abigail in a while, so I don't know where she's been. But no. But yeah, so is that the end of the Firefly Funhouse? Is Bray Wyatt now?
Well, allegedly,
the Fiend full-time?
This is something I've heard. I don't necessarily know how true this is. Fox executives are down on the Firefly Funhouse, and they want to see more live action stuff with Bray Wyatt.
Okay, I've been saying that for a while.
Allegedly,
I don't know why he was on Raw. I guess this is to blow over the feud with Seth Rollins, going with the crown jewel. But okay, I guess. All right, we talked about it. It happened. We talked about it. I guess.
So I wonder what that means going forward. I mean, does Bray Wyatt still keep his character?
I can't see him cutting a Fiend promo.
Right.
So maybe we'll see Bray Wyatt. We have to see Bray Wyatt more.
Does he go? This is version of Bray Wyatt continuing. I think that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll see. Fox.
We will see.
They are running the show.
Yeah.
So what they want, they're going to get.
All right, Mark, you ready for this week's 3 count?
Oh, I am so ready for this. I can't wait to see what you got.
It's time for the 3 count.
All right, Mark, my favorite segment of the show. I think the fans will dig in it too. This week's 3 count, we're going our top 3 personal valets of all time. Not the top valets of all time. Again, our personal take, our own unique perspective.
These are our very own top 3. Hey, we all have lists. We all have top 5s, top 10s, top 3s. These are our personal ones. If you disagree or agree with us, you can let us know.
Inbox at StarWrestling.com or dial it up 619-3433-005. Mark, the floor is yours.
All right. My number 3, very current, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, very, very current, is Zelina Vega.
Of all time, number 3 is Zelina Vega.
I am loving it right now because, you don't necessarily see valets like her. Very athletic, extremely athletic, very dangerous. Her character is on point. Her mic work is insane. And, her facial expressions are just bar none. And she really elevates Andrade's character in his game.
Okay. Explained pretty well.
Thank you.
Number 3 is a woman who wasn't just a valet. She kind of morphed that valet and made it something bigger. Okay?
Okay.
The Lana before Lana. That authoritative woman who's in charge, the head bitch in charge.
Uh-huh.
Marlena.
Marlena, huh? Okay.
Beautiful woman.
Yes.
Smoking hot.
Yes.
Goldust. She led the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian. Hell, she had a tournament full of tag teams for her services.
Exactly.
She was awesome.
And that's why Terry Reynolds is my number 2, actually.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Great segue.
Dude, honestly, my biggest crush growing up, Terry Reynolds, loved her. Loved her work as Marlena as well.
Yeah.
Great character work. Just her, she didn't even have to say much. Her presence, just her sitting down in the chair, the director's chair, the cigar,
that gold dress.
Exactly.
Oof.
And then there's the storylines that she was involved in, and the tag teams that she elevated. I mean, the Hardy Boys, they were really just like jobbers before Terry Reynolds took them on.
Floating around, right? This was after.
I think there's
Doc Hendricks.
Yeah, after Doc Hendricks, and it just really.
They're the ones who won the tournament, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that won her services.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, I had a big crush on her. I thought she was drop dead gorgeous as well.
Future Hall of Famer, hopefully. She's not in yet.
Hopefully.
Was she going by herself? Because she wasn't a wrestler.
Ooh, does she go in with Goldust? I don't know.
You can't go with Goldust now, right?
I mean, that would be awkward.
My number 2 is one of the standouts of the Attitude Era. Another person who pretty much embodied what a valet was. Textbook definition of valet. And her roster was very impressive. And she, what's the word I'm looking for? Puppies! Deborah. She managed the 4 Horsemen, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Jeff Jarrett.
Owen Hart?
Jeff Jarrett, Owen Hart. Oh, what a presence she had on screen.
I mean, well, yeah. Puppies.
That's all I can say. Puppies.
Everyone loved her. Jerry Lawler definitely put it over with that as well.
Yeah. And just the way she would just distract the opponents, like unbuttoning her blouse.
Steve with Michael as well. That's who she.
Yeah.
I was
Yes,
just
right.
trying to think. Yeah.
The way those photo spreads in Raw magazine, like I'm still thinking about right now.
And she evolved as well
Yeah.
from the Four Horsemen to Jeff Jarrett, and then with Stone Cold. I mean, different character, pretty much.
Yeah, I loved her with Stone Cold. That was a great combo.
Yeah, definitely. And real life couple.
Until he beat her up.
Yeah, well, we'll skip over that.
Wow, the whole mood just changed. I'm so sorry.
She felt the walls closing in. Going to my number one.
Okay.
Yeah, nice little segue there. Complete badass. Someone you don't want to mess with. Really changed the role that you would see from a valet, and I don't really see anyone else that really tried to be like her. Chyna.
Okay.
Chyna was a one of a kind. Really was the ninth wonder of the world, as they proclaimed her to be. Strangely sexy in a different way, and just wow, completely paved the way for women for what they do today in the ring. As she competed with men, won the Intercontinental Championship as well at one point. But when she was the valet, especially when she debuted with Triple H, and she was like manhandling men the way she actually manhandled Marlena at one point, distracting Goldust in that match. It was insane. You've never seen anyone like her. Maybe Nicole Bask came close to second, but didn't have the same charisma, the same je ne sais quoi that Chyna had. May God rest her soul.
That's a good one. I thought about Chyna too, but her in-ring career totally eclipses her valet career to me, so that's why I did not put her on my list, but well-deserved.
Absolutely. I mean, how she started off as a valet, and even when she was doing in-ring work, when she was a valet, she was just a game changer, complete game changer for any valet that you've ever seen.
And this was like a hard list for me because there's so many to choose from. A couple honorable mentions. You got like Lita, the Hardy Boys, Trish Stratus with TNA, Tess and Albert, not TNA Wrestling, Melina with Eminem.
You gotta say Miss Elizabeth.
And of course, Miss Elizabeth. But my number one, my personal number one, she comes as no surprise. You know I want her. You know I love her. The original diva, Sunny.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be Sunny.
It's like, okay. I mean, why? How can it not be Sunny? She led 3 separate tag teams to championships. That's power. That's brilliance. And the brains to match the beauty as well.
Here's the thing with Sunny.
Like you say, talk about Renee Young, too. She was a great host, too. She could throw in different hosting things. She was very multi-talented. As Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Those I can't give you that aspect of it. But
I wish they did something with that.
Sunny just transcended that role and made it her own.
Can you imagine if, like, I feel like this would have happened today. If Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, they brought that up with Sunny.
Absolutely.
Sunny would have been involved.
Yes, hands down. But there would be no Sable without Sunny. Sunny paved the way for many of that next generation to follow.
Yeah,
Sable also, honorable mention, also on my list.
The
barely cut out.
You guys him with Sherry Martel as well. I mean, huge honorable mention with her. Luna Vachon.
Again, let's talk about it. Just go on and on.
It was a tough list, actually, to do.
One of the hardest ones for me.
Yeah, like...
Pun intended.
I was like thinking about Sunny as well, but I gotta say, I really love what Zelina Vega is doing. And like, she's still young and is still like, she's already like so interesting to watch right now, and I think she's only going to get better. Going
back to Sable, Trish Stratus, Lita, Melina. Same thing with Chyna. Their in-ring careers kind of eclipsed their valet careers to me, so that's why that's the only reason I edged out these 3. Because you didn't see Sunny, Deborah, or Marlena wrestle, really, barely.
No, they
were
hardly.
typical, just valets.
Yeah. Well, Sunny, the thing with Sunny is...
You better watch your mouth.
She's very talented. And the thing is, like, with her, you're right. She did pave the way for what the Divas revolution was.
Original diva, yeah.
Yeah, she was the original diva. And, whatever role they put her in, because she was a beautiful woman, and her charisma was just off the charts.
Yeah.
Off the charts. Like, if you were to ask me Sunny or Sable any day of the week, I would say Sunny, because I felt like she just beat Sable out in different ways. Sable was the clear favorite within the WWE at that point.
So Sunny beat out Sable.
In my opinion, yeah.
What you beat out?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay, let's move on then. Same thing with Sunny and Deborah, those photo shoots in those magazines.
Yeah.
Whew.
But it was
about
Sunny, like whatever role they gave her, whether just promos, where as a host or something.
It was a jerk-off joke, by the way.
I know what you mean. I'm not.
I think you were.
Listen, Puddy, I was brought up with more class.
What were you saying about Sonny?
Yeah, I was about to pay your girl some respect, but I'm going to take it back now.
I mean, God forbid you do. You're always shitting on her.
Because she's not good for you, Puddy. I see she breaks your heart time and time again.
Shut your mouth.
I feel like you're in an abusive relationship without being in a relationship.
Story of my life. Thanks for laughing at that. That wasn't supposed to be a joke.
You're so funny, man.
Thanks. Let us know your top 3 valets of all time, personal valets. If you're going overall, I mean, like Sherry Martell, Miss Elizabeth, but we're talking about.
Or what about Nia Kennedy? My all-time favorite.
Don't kiss ass.
Personally.
Damage is already done.
I love Nia Kennedy.
Damage is already done. Let us know yours. Inbox at wrestling.com. Dial it up 619-343-3005 or share it on our social medias. Get involved in the conversation. We want your voices to be heard. So let us know your top 3 female valets of all time. I guess female valets is kind of redundant, right?
It is a little redundant.
Mark, reset time. Get to the show. Any go-home thoughts for you?
All right, man. I got a little something. Someone posed a question to me, or not necessarily a question. It was a fact. A friend of mine texted me.
Okay.
Let me get the text out.
While you do that, quick reminder, SmackDown will be on October 25th on Fox Sports 1. If you set it on your DVRs, your DVR will not pick it up. So check out Fox Sports 1. Record SmackDown manually. I always actually set the series because it won't be the first time this is happening. So SmackDown, Fox Sports 1, October 25th.
All right. Thank you for that reminder because I probably would have forgotten as well. A friend of mine texted me out of nowhere, says, Hulk Hogan, greater than Ric Flair. It's not even close. Ric Flair was great. Modern wrestling exists because of Hulk Hogan. Thoughts?
Okay. What's the problem with that?
You think Hulk Hogan is that much better than Ric Flair? You think?
What do you mean better? Hulk Hogan was a mainstream person, epitomized what wrestling was. He carried 80s wrestling was Hulk Hogan.
There would be no Hulk Hogan without Ric Flair.
There'd be no Hulk Hogan without Superstar Billy Graham.
Fair enough as well. But, I
think it's just two different things. Hulk Hogan was a product of the WWE machine. Ric Flair was a wrestler that went territory to territory to territory, making a name for himself, building his resume by himself. Hulk Hogan was built by Vince McMahon.
He was built by Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon could have made anyone Hulk Hogan. Vince McMahon could have made anyone the Ultimate Warrior. Vince McMahon, for what people say about him right now, they tend to forget what a great mind he was in creating characters.
Not
like
me.
The Undertaker.
I'm always defending him.
But Ric Flair, what he's done for wrestling, for the character that he created for himself, going as far as pretty much bankrupting himself because he was so involved with this character, so deep into it, partying the whole time. Today, even sports, it transcends all of sports throughout pop culture. The famous "woo" they came up with.
Is the woo more over than Hulk Hogan, though? I mean, everybody knows Hulk Hogan.
Everyone knows Ric Flair as well. To say to make that profound statement that Hulk Hogan is that much better than Ric Flair without even a question, not even room for debate, is just nonsense for me. I can respect someone's opinion saying what Hulk Hogan did for the business. I am not taking anything away from what Hulk Hogan has done for the business.
It's like apples and oranges.
But to say without question that Hulk Hogan is that much better than Flair, that it's that much more important to wrestling than Ric Flair, I think really cuts down to what Ric Flair has done for this business. Personally. What do you think? I mean, do you agree? I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Puddy?
I kind of see what he's saying here.
Really?
Yeah. I kind of see what he's saying here. Like I said earlier, Hulk Hogan was professional wrestling in the 80s. We wouldn't be here talking about it without Hulk Hogan right now.
Do you think without Ric Flair, we'd still be talking about wrestling? I mean, do you
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Ric Flair doesn't register as a
Hulk Hogan was a worldwide icon. Ric Flair was, like I said, within territories. So Ric Flair busted his ass, worked harder, I think, Hulk Hogan did.
Way harder.
To make a name for himself. Great in the ring. Great matches, great rivalries. But Hulk Hogan transcended the business, much like Stone Cold Steve Austin did. Everyone knows Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hell, he's got his own TV show. But Hulk Hogan put wrestling on the map and on nationwide, global, more than Ric Flair did.
Wow. I'm just floored by that. I mean, like I said, it's not like I'm taking away from what Hulk Hogan did. You are right. Hulk Hogan.
It's funny we're talking about Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. My number one was Evolution. Your number one was NWO. These guys were just two of the biggest names in this business. So it's hard to talk about who's better than who. It's just a matter of opinion.
I guess it
Babe
is
Ruth, Mickey Mantle type thing.
It is a matter of opinion, but like I don't know. Just to say, like, without Ric Flair, would wrestling be as big as it is today? I would have to say no. Ric Flair was
Big in
around
the territories.
But Ric Flair was around before Hulk Hogan. He's the one like really like put the character over the top. Like with the storytelling, what he did, he brought eyes to wrestling throughout these different territories. He did such a great job as a champion, 16-time world champion, putting on hour-long matches, putting on great feuds time and time again, putting people over, putting on great storytelling. Not necessarily the best athlete in the world, but still doing it through telling a story. And the art of the promo, you talk about the art of the promo, he made promos what they are. People like today, they look at how to do a promo. They look at Ric Flair.
Okay, no one's arguing that. No one's taking that away from him. But on a national, global scale, Hulk Hogan was the one drawing those crowds. Hulk Hogan was the one doing those TV show appearances, doing the movies.
You say Ric Flair didn't do any of that? He didn't bring crowds to different places?
The way Hulk Hogan did?
I mean, yeah.
Ric Flair joined the WWF. Okay,
that was a big deal. They
didn't make it a big deal.
He brought in an NWA championship.
But you didn't see the fanfare they didn't acknowledge his past.
They
When
couldn't.
Hulk Hogan joined WCW. They had a fucking parade. Because it was the icon. That is Hulk Hogan. The name behind the character. Hulk Hogan.
But the way WWF strategized things to that point, that's why it's a big deal. Like when the Viking Raiders brought up New Japan, they brought up ROH. It's a big deal because WWE and WWF, they've never acknowledged other promotions on their air before. So that's why
Matt Hardy saying he'll see you at Ring of Honor when he attacked Edge.
It's very rare when they do, but especially when they were WWF back in the early '90s, it was nothing else existed. It was just WWF.
Yeah, nothing else did exist.
But that's why they had to like make it a big deal with Ric Flair as the true champion. They brought in the NWA championship because he was the champion, but they never really acknowledged
great.
it.
Loved it.
And then the same thing with I'm blanking out on the name. The original King of the Ring.
Harley Race?
Harley Race, thank you. I'm getting too hyped up right now. Harley Race. The whole thing is he obviously had a huge legacy before in wrestling. They couldn't acknowledge his past before, so that's why they came up with the whole King of the Ring concept to begin with.
You're really getting heated here.
Because it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm not fully a Hulk Hogan guy. I mean, I appreciate what he's done for the industry and everything. There would be no wrestling without Hulk Hogan, but it's not fair to say there would be no wrestling without Ric Flair.
There would be wrestling with Ric Flair. Territorially wise.
Oh, my God.
You'd be paying money to see Ric Flair in Florida and then following him to Chicago. Not on a national, global scale that it is, thanks to Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
We can talk all night. I got a podcast to do. Let's go downstairs to the bar and continue this conversation, although I think it'll be the same shit. Agree to disagree. Can we just agree to disagree?
I'm curious to hear what everyone else thinks. Let's dial it up, man.
You can't say that. You have to say the phone number afterwards.
I don't know the phone number.
Dick.
I was hoping you'd take it over from there.
So, again, on social medias, A Shot of Wrestling on Facebook, Instagram, Shot of Wrestling No Way on Twitter, A Shot of Wrestling on YouTube. We're always on our social medias. Get involved in the conversation. We want to hear what you have to say. Next week, hopefully share your comments or concerns. So for Green Man, for the potential Vanity 2 belts,
I am the Hollywood Marc Chouen.
and I've been your host at Marc Puddy. Until next week, Puddy out.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I need to announce it's last call at the bar.
All right, it's been a great episode already, but we are not done yet. We still have Vanity here with us, and it's last call, so it's the first thing that comes to your mind, and it's the first thing you're going to answer. Vanity, are you ready?
I am totally ready.
And away we go. What song hypes you up?
Any Cardi B song, but right now I would have to say Money.
Other than wrestling, what is your favorite sport?
Wow, the LFL, the Lingerie Football League.
Ooh, nice. What is the best costume you have ever pulled off for Halloween?
I was Lita for Halloween.
Name a food that you can eat every day for the rest of your life.
Tofu chicken nuggets.
What is your motto in life?
Live every day as if it's your last.
I could totally dig that. What's your favorite karaoke song?
I love rock and roll.
What is the best feature on a man?
His heart.
Aw. What is the worst pickup line you have ever received?
Wow. Just anything cheap. Anything cheap as hell. It doesn't even matter what it is. Come with it if you're trying to come to Vanity.
And finally, who is your celebrity crush?
Oh my God. That's a good question. Me.
Yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Vanity, for joining us on this episode of The Shot of Wrestling. And we're going to see a lot more of you, definitely in BCW, because you are the #1 contender.
Most definitely.
Hey, baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh, my. And maybe you seem a bit confused. Yeah, baby, but I got you pinned. Ha, 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.